and trying to stare at the viewfinder and not at the screen, so that way it looks like I'm actually talking to you guys. So, I'm back. So the book that I'm reviewing is called Barbie Girl, and it is by Heidi Acosta, and it is not available on Kindle Unlimited, but it is available for free on iBooks. This book talks about the preconceived notions and things we just sort of assume about other people, and I really did enjoy that. And I love how this story tackled learning not to judge a book by its cover. This book is about a girl who has a bit of a reputation at her school. You know, she doesn't dress the most conservatively, has a lot of rumors flying about around her. Barbie, who is the name of our main character, in case, you know, you somehow didn't catch that. Barbie is failing math and she needs a tutor. So she's recommended to Dylan Knight, I think, yeah, Dylan Knight. He's her knight. And she goes and tries to convince him to tutor her. But Dylan is a bit of a stick in the mud. And by that I mean he likes playing things safe. He doesn't like doing anything that might risk drawing too much attention to himself or criticism from others, especially those in his school. He's just trying to go through high school without being shoved in the locker. So Barbie tries convincing him to tutor her, which is hard since she can't pay him. When she finds out that he's in love with Katie Bloom, she goes and makes him an offer he can't refuse, that she will win him the love of his life if he gets her to pass in math. So Dylan makes a choice that any high school boy who is offered the chance to be with his crush makes. He says sure. He's willing to pretend to date Barbie because she says that, you know, that will get him Katie, which, that's a bit of a messed up plan, as most rom-com teen dramas are, right? It seems to always involve a fake boyfriend, somehow. Fake relationships are very popular in high school. She just really wants to start a new life with her younger brother, and he is very much the focal point of her existence. He is the reason why she gets up in the morning. He is the reason why she deals with all the crappy people at her school and still puts up with her drunken, alcoholic, drug-using mom. If you want a not-so-clean romance teen drama book with a very strong female protagonist, but I will warn you, Dylan acts like a bit of a dick sometimes, so that might annoy some people. Okay, now on to the spoiler part of our video. Barbie. She is a bit of a mess in the sense that she has no friends, she is very lonely, and she uses making out with guys as a way of handling all the shit in her life. In spite of that, I did really connect with her because everything she does in her life, almost every single choice she makes, is about her baby brother. I definitely connected with, and I really like that about her. Plus, I love how she's a bit of a badass and it's just like, you know, F everyone else. I don't care what they think. Screw them. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They do drop the F word in here a few times, especially in the last half of the book. I probably shouldn't have put that in the spoiler part of this review then. Back to Barbie. Her and Dylan, he's a bit of a nerd who got a little buffed out the summer before freshman year of high school, so he would stop getting picked on. Only has one friend who is, of course, fat and going through some sort of weird fashion stage where he's like dressing all gangsta with, you know, droopy underpants and fake gold teeth and using things like, I don't know, I can't even remember the slang. He's just like, he uses street slang, you know, like cheesy kind. When Dylan's best friend Third is a very colorful character, and he's a bit of a weirdo to Barbie in the beginning because, you know, all you can think about is, oh my gosh, my best friend is tutoring the hottest girl in school. So, you know, there is a lot of innuendos mixed in there. But as we learn more about him, and after him and Barbie have a whole bonding session when he pukes down the front of her shirt, that's when we really start to see a bit more depth to Third. and he really is a very loyal friend, and he's funny and he's sweet, and I love him so much. And I'm so glad he gets together with Roxy, because he deserves an amazing girl, and it's just, love him so much. I really liked how in this book it wasn't just them falling for each other, but it was also sort of them being in a relationship for a while, them sort of having their fights and disagreements, their arguments. Then of course comes the stupid required breakup over something stupid and miscommunication, and if everyone would just shut up and talk to each other, everything could be sorted out, because guess what? She didn't sleep with Third! You idiot! Dylan, seriously? It's like, and you won't even talk to her? And then you go dating Katie right off the bat? It's like, okay, like I said, Dylan acts like a dick sometimes. Gosh! Why don't you just talk to each other? But then again, teenagers are very stupid. I've been a teenager. It sucks. It's not a fun experience. Honestly, I don't really think Dylan deserves Barbie. She, of course, thinks he's too good for her because, you know, he comes from a normal, loving household. He has 2 parents. I'd say more of the not living in a trashy house with a drunk mom. There is a reason why Barbie dresses the way she does. It's because whatever money she finds, she doesn't use to buy clothes for herself. She buys clothes for her little brother and food for her younger brother so that he can eat. So all she has is the clothes from her mom's friends who work at a strip club. Dylan is very much a self-conscious, self-centered person, and he never even thinks really about Barbie, and that's the main reason why I think she also didn't want to let him into her world, because, you know, he didn't really care enough to find out. And hello. He doesn't really care to know what's going on with her, for the most part. I mean, he says he wants to, but he never really pushes her. And even though she is very resistant about that because she wants to keep him separate from all the crap in her life, if he had just, I felt, been a little more trusting and open with her, then this whole breakup bullshit could have been avoided. At the same time, Barbie also was just too much of a coward. She didn't want to put everything on the table. Mosquitoes on me. She was afraid of him seeing all of her and rejecting her. It's either you keep your pride and have nothing, or risk it all for the chance to have everything, to quote Dan Humphrey. And then there's this whole Ronnie, who's Barbie's mom's boyfriend, who's a total asshole. He causes her mom to OD. The climax, he's the one who ends up beating up Everett, who's a little 7-year-old boy, mind you, and then nearly killing Barbie. So that was a very dramatic scene. I really loved that. The climax is mostly Barbie literally fighting for her life while this asshole drunk is beating on her and is literally going to kill her. There was no sugarcoating it really. This book is not so PG. It's a lot more 13. In the whole climax scene, I loved how Barbie was on the floor. She was bleeding out. She could barely see straight, and she thought, I guess this is it. This is how I die. And she was all sad, and she was thinking about Dylan, remembering, you know, the person she loved. And then she thought of Everett, and she realized that she can't leave him. She was not going to let that asshole kill her baby brother. Despite all her injuries and being smashed around by this idiot and just getting all this crap beat and getting kicked several times by his stupid boots, she crawls out of the kitchen and manages to get to her little brother and is able to hide him. She crawls out a window, carries him over to the neighbor's yard, hides him behind some bushes, and then she runs to distract her assailant from her baby brother. And oh, that scene, I loved it so much, and I was just like, and then she just blacks out. Dylan finds out a little later than everyone else about Barbie because he had turned off his phone and everything, because right before she got assaulted, she was rejecting him basically. Screw all this. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win her back. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to pursue my passions, not give a crap what anyone else has to say about it, because she inspired him, and I really enjoyed that. I loved how she got him to get his ass in gear. Barbie is our main character here, but I think overall it's Dylan who's our protagonist. He's the one who goes through the character arc and changes over the course of the story. I liked it. I really do. Dylan is a bit of a dick, and he still does not deserve Barbie. But that is a bit of a refreshing thing for me, because one of the things that really bugs me nowadays with a lot of newer stories coming out, movies and books and TV series, is that you have these amazing guys. The girl is usually... I dropped my lipstick. The girl is usually this whiny, commitment-phobic bitch. And then the guy's still like, oh, I'm so lucky. I can't believe that, you know, someone like you would go with someone like me. You know, and I'm like, no, honestly, she does not deserve you, because you're amazing and she's just horrible. You know, Barbie still, she has her flaws, she has her problems, but overall, she doesn't really change during the story. She still does anything and everything for her younger brother, even moving in to Dylan's house after his mom basically says, you know, come live with us. My son's not dating you anymore, and, you know, if there's any hanky-panky business, you'll be out. But I'll take you and your brother, and you guys can be safe. And you'll be together, which is more than the state was going to offer them. Even though Dylan broke her heart and betrayed her trust, she lives with him and his parents in their house for her little brother. And the ending, I won't spoil this for you guys, because I really think you guys should just read it, even though this is the spoiler part of the video. The ending was just so awesome, and I loved it, and it was a bit of a surprise. If you like stories where there's more to people than what meets the eye, if you like weird little nerd boys falling in love and being all geeky and adorable, and there's this whole line where he invites her over to watch Star Wars because she's never seen it, and his little sister spills the beans and tells her that he said that you're his Princess Leia. And so later she asks him, you know, is that true? And he goes, you're my Princess Leia, my Arwen, Lara Croft, Hermione, and mine. I think that's what he said. And it was, I remember reading that when I was younger, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. Oh, it was so cute and sweet. I just loved it. And I love also how he was saying those things, and then he was thinking that he didn't want her to be anyone else. He wanted her to be her, and he loved her for that. And I was like, an emotional wreck. But anyway, this book is amazing. Although I will not be giving it as high of a rating as I would like, because bad editing. And when they switch POVs, it's not always very clear until a few sentences in to the chapter who we're following. So that is a bit confusing. Also, the fact that the author is not very good at describing locations. There is a bit of a white wall syndrome in this novel, so be forewarned, because I was sometimes lost with where characters were, where they were standing, what was in their surroundings. But besides that part of the storytelling and the editing, which seriously needs to get looked over, because just adding the last part of those words would make it much less confusing and much more enjoyable, because then instead of being like, huh, what? You could just hop in and enjoy and ride along with Barbie and her witty humor, very strong way, I think, of handling issues and problems and her life. So I give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars, which I'm pretty sure is the highest rating I've given it yet. Maybe it's not. It's probably because I keep reviewing books that I love so much. I should do something that I hate, just to balance it out. I actually get teased a lot because apparently I'm such a picky critic. This review will be coming to you guys later tonight because it is Saturday, and I have saved filming to the last moment because I suck at this. No.